Alright, this is Dr. Loving. I am the Vietnamese, playing Senior, not to be mistaken as Sen 10R, because lingo. So, Dark Age, send all the llamas, cladded in beautiful yellow, as Cast of Empires would call it, Instagrammable. He usually says that for the sheep. In any case, I am playing the Franks, whom I dearly call the Franklins. I am the Vietnamese. Now, as this channel may or may not know, my tenets for success are speed, mobility, and aggression. And though the eyes may be deceiving, in my opinion, the Vietnamese are the fastest foot archer civ in the game when you add them all up, and they can also handle the trash war very effectively, whether as a customer or whether as a fighter of the cheapies. So, to begin, we'll start with our opponents, the Franklins. One of my phases, villager inefficiency. That had to have been a misclick. That was rough. So he, to begin, is doing what I'm doing, which is using housing to help wall off your structures. Lo and behold, we're both using our wood lines, so that's great. Anyways, let's go watch a boar pull. Fantastic. Okay, so beyond this current inefficiency, the Franklins are I classify them more as a knight civ over a cavalry civ because they only have one viable option in the stable, and that is the knight one. They have a suitable light cav in feudal, but it's not anything special because, well, frankly, they don't get bloodlines. Now they get free 20% for their mounted units, but by and large, it's not anything great. You could argue their cavalry archers are good in Castle, but nothing special. They're missing Thumb Ring and all the Imperial upgrades like Heavy Cav Archer and Bracer and Ring Archer armor. Ooh, yep, not smooth. So we're both kings of inefficiency. Anyways, so they get 15% faster berry collection. It used to be 25%, and oh, another thing that was nerfed. They used to have 25% off in of their castles. It's true, but you have to wait until Imperial. So now I say they're a knight civ. Their unique unit is a Throwing Axeman. It's a cartoonish figure that has way too much axe comparative to the user, which is the man. It's so much blade that it covers the entire body of the person. So again, those hatchets kind of be reasonable, but it's not. More inefficiency, big sad. But in any case, that's kind of the Franks. Their eco bonus, additionally to their Dark Age bonus, they get all the farming upgrades for free. So that's legit, and it's not a bad gig because that saves over 800 resources. So that little kerfuffle's going on. He's kind of microing that as evident with this. So, yeah, got some damage done, and then we're just going to chase him for a little bit, see if we get anything out of it. I went quite villager heavy on this. Wasn't the plan, but, you know, losing a boar, that definitely was an effect. So, good gosh, that's a lot on the wood line. But he clicked up to feudal, so he's doing the right thing, which is get everybody on wood, and then, you know, you want to build farms and other things, but I think we'll be up to shenanigans, is the suspicion. But moving on from the Franklins, we'll go to the Vietnamese. So I just clicked up, pushing in my last deer. So the Vietnamese, I said earlier they're the fastest foot archer civ, and I pretty much stand by that because they get cavalry archers in the say foot archer and then immediately pivot to a cavalry archer, but they get every upgrade except for Parthian tactics, and just like the Franklins with their 20% for mounted units, the Vietnamese get 20% but for their archery units, so that in proxy not only gives their cav archers full legitimacy in terms of power spike, they also get bloodlines, so that means they're, other than the Turks, I think they're the second highest HP cavalry archer you can get in Castle Age. Because the Ketons, they get heavy cavalry archers in the Castle Age, but they don't get bloodlines. So, that to say, so they're beefed up, right? What makes the Vietnamese unique is they have elephants, and then the new shock infantry unit called the Fire Lancer. Now the Fire Lancer is what I kind of classify as a super version of the Burgundian Flemish militiamen. Now, unlike the nerf to the Burgundian Flemish militiamen, sorry, one moment. Totally derped out there. The Fire Lancer is the only infantry unit in the game that costs wood and gold. So it's like 40 wood, 50 gold. It fires a ranged, like, gunpowder attack. Now, it doesn't have any bonus damage, but it's unblockable damage, right? So we're gonna start pumping out some scouts, see what we got. So anyways, they get elephants, and Machachras, it's 420 HP, which is pretty cool. The memes, it's great. So anyways, that's kind of that. Now, with the elephants, they don't get, and all melee units, they don't get Blast Furnace. So definitely designed to be a beat shield, and that is totally okay. Because that enables more means to stop the skirmisher, just call it ad nauseum production of everybody else. Because also, segueing into that, the Vietnamese, akin to the Italians, each get a unique unit that they can offer their teammates. In the beginning, you saw that I saw where their town center was. That was a unique feature of the Vietnamese. Got a free reinforcement kill, so that was good. This is a decent amount of archers, but I'm doing a good job of just buying time. That was unfortunate. But we're causing villager idle time. And we're also hero villagers. But yeah, so TC idle time, that's good. And as the score is indicative, he's using a lot to not be useful, to be honest. So we're going to make some skirmishers because that's a decent amount of archers, and he's going double stable, which is pretty rare. So we lost pretty much our whole force, and it's like, okay. So anyways, we're going to start making some skirms, see what we can do with this. They already come with 20 HP, 20%, so 36 to 30, so that extra 6%, pretty generous, pretty nice. But I don't know where they're coming, I just know that they're going to be here pretty soon. So, that's kind of that. And then the Vietnamese, their eco bonuses only cost 100% food, no wood. And then, yeah, so he's on micro in this until it's kind of too late. Alright, let's see what we can do here. So at this point, it's just damage control, right? Let's see what we can do. Try to push him into the town center. But man, I'm doing pretty good on the KD ratio. Alright, so let's see here. We didn't So generally speaking, we're pretty close to the KD ratio, and then we're gonna have to evacuate. But we're getting our skirm numbers back up, and that's kind of that. So let's see how he's doing at home. I mean, I would say pretty freaking good. Well, let's see if we can even some of the ledger up on the score and so forth. Now, I'm able to get wheelbarrow. Oh, by the way, the food eco upgrades, 100% faster in research time. So that's really good. I have Spearman here in case he transitions to light cav. And then I've got the skirmisher numbers that I want. I don't know if I researched any upgrades yet, but this should be more than enough to handle it. Handle what we got to, so that's good. So that's gonna take care of itself. And a lot of folks at this point, you know, well, the pros, they can just keep producing like crazy. This is a very good amount of farms. It's just getting it done right. So, you know, maybe they try to save up, click up, but I kind of realized, you know what, like, I got it under control, so I just need to take advantage and kind of put some gas to the, whatever, put my foot to the gas and try to get some free kills and such as we're doing things. So, Hero Jaguar, as that gave me some free kills, and we're going to try and just eliminate the problems, but wow, that's a lot up ahead. So, I'm just going to use the scouts for, yeah, villager kills, and then I'm going to use the skirms to hold the line. So that's the plan. I don't know why he backed off. I don't think he needed to, other than just making sure I wasn't going to swing around and try to kill him, or get some villager kills, but you know, we'll see how it goes. So he clicked up to castle, which is pretty legit. Granted, it's at the 20-minute mark, but whatever, right? So food, the eco is good. Just got to finish the job, right? So probably not necessary, but kind of, because I realize I need to get kills. So we're gonna just cause some delays, see if we can do anything with this, and go from there, right? So we should be able to get this one. Now, this guy's a little crazy, because as you can see, 25 health, 40. Yes. He has not invested in Loom, which is crazy. So we're going to get another villager kill pretty easily. And at this point, it's just see if we can get out of here. And because he hasn't invested in Loom, these villagers are susceptible even to skirmishers. So let's see here. Yeah, the kills are racking up in my favor. I kind of realize, well, I haven't seen a single melee unit. I wonder if I'll recommit or not, because I feel like I will. But anyways, I clicked up. He's way ahead of me. So at this point, the goal is, I think I saw it earlier too. So I know he's going to be in Castle Age much faster. So I'm going to do what I want to do in terms of an ideal composition. And I definitely want to lean into it. And that is cavalry archers, and then for home, elephants and fire lancers. So generally speaking, fire lancers are extremely susceptible to the militia line, and kind of like any infantry, they're generally susceptible to cavalry. So I'm getting some upgrades. Let's see what we can do with this. At this point, it's just damage control, and we'll see what we can do to mitigate. So let's see. I don't know if he has any upgrades in. I feel like he doesn't, because let's see how much damage that knight will take from 9 skirmishers. Hard to tell, but I think it's still 1 per shot. So anyways, I just have the scout cavalry here. I have ideas, but it's better just to kind of wait it out, right? So I want to secure the gold, So that's smart. At this point, just try to gouge some eyes out, / defend myself. Because what's coming my way is... Alright, so he invested in an upgrade. And then he's got some archers still, right? But I don't know how many archers he's bringing. Yeah, look at the chonkers. So we got bloodlines, and we got... yeah, I think that's it so far. But yeah, this research is so awesome. So we know what's coming our way. Handful of problems, but we're just going to secure ourselves and again just try to defend ourselves. So, because of the nature of all of this, I wasn't able to start pumping out the cav archers nor the what's its name? Nor the fire lancers. I keep forgetting, but I think that's what's the unit. So we're gonna get some kills over here because he's not gonna micro it well. And this is very unfortunate, but we are gonna lose. Oh, yes, we got him good. Alright, so we're gonna start making some cav archers. But generally speaking, yeah, especially 5 elephants, that should more than be enough. So now at this point, I've kind of learned from the pros, you can somewhat entrap and ensnare people because they're not maybe paying attention, and you want to purposely give up some HP to have the greater effect, right? So that's what we're going to do. And let's just take out these archers. I can generally handle melee units, but I don't want to mess around with archery and melee units. Yes, there's archers. But it's just better, keep it simple, right? Make him one composition. He generally doesn't have an answer to these elephants. And he's not microing, so that's going to take care of itself. And that will handle itself right there. So maybe the scout will kill this when strike short. So anyways, we just need longevity, right? The kills are indicative that I'm doing better. I want to say he has at least 3 villager kills, so good for him. And this should transition us to some cavalry archers. Once when I kind of realize I've pretty much stabilized. Then I say that, and then that happens. So anyways, he's doing the right thing as the Franks, which is moving into knights. And I'm going to make a castle because I want to make something I did not mention in the beginning. My favorite archer unit in the game, which is the Rattan archer. And that is the, I think, a Huskar with a buff. It's got 10 pierce armor, and it has +1 attack over a regular crossbow. And my favorite part is when it doesn't cost more than it should. Need to. So anyways, we're transitioning to our ideal comp, which is the comp that I wanted in the first place, but you know, it's Arabia, so timings are always going to be a little off, but man, that is just such a difference. So anyways, we just want to create a fatal funnel. Definitely learned that one from the pros. You just like, you kind of want to invite, but at the same point you also want to defend. So with our primary gold in such a favorable location, it's very manageable to kind of handle ourselves, right? So, there it is. So I think it gets a +5 or 10 against cavalry, which is pretty good. And so at this point, we're just going to keep making some cav archers. And, you know, to my point earlier, speed, mobility, aggression. So what we're going to do is what I wanted to do in first place, which is, well, not quite the first place, but I've got a counter castle, so that should help mitigate some of the things. And yeah, I don't have speed, mobility, or aggression at the moment, but I have a decent amount of cav archers starting to stack up. So that should be enough. I want to say I have at least 1-in-1 upgrades apiece. I don't know if I bought in. Maybe I do. So we have a handful of spearmen. We have our, yeah, so we're just going to try and get some kills out of this, and we will. So that's good. So yeah, just knock some HP off. and then we're gonna go get some kills, right? So again, guy doesn't have Loom, that's crazy. These, as a group, would probably be enough to one-shot, but now, 100%, we can take him out pretty quick. So, I'll eventually set the villagers free, but yeah, so we're doing good on that. I'm not the best at microing, so that's why it's like, I gotta kind of just simplify it, right? Let's build a second barracks. I did something I normally don't do, and that's click to imp. What I definitely enjoy about being an Archer Civ is, as time passes, I'll be able to just not use food for anything other than upgrades and villager production. So we just got 3 more vill kills. Let's just try and get out of here, right? Yeah, so I'm 1 in 1 upgrades, not bad. So now we're just gonna get kills, right? So this is gonna be great. In the meanwhile, he thought of the same thing. So we just thought of the same thing at the same time. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, he's nowhere close to Imperial. And I'm over here just wanting to get kills. I didn't care to find an exit. I already knew the castle was there, so I just figured get the villager kills. And don't worry about anything else. It's a bloodbath, and it's not fun. But you know what? We're just gonna get the kills. So did we get another one? Oh yeah, so we got 4 more villager kills just by committing, right? So anyways, he's starting to make, there they are, the cartoons. Cartoonish, rather. So anyways, he's doing that. Villager-wise, I'm beating him, and a large part is the amount of kills that I got. He got a few too, but at this point I know, well, don't know, but I feel like I have it under control. Because you're going to see that score jump up, and he generally has nothing he can do about it. So I'm panic building this castle, because beyond just basic defense, I'm also wanting to make sure, because I'm just racking up the kills, I need my trebs, and I also need some basic forms of defense, right? So this was weird. I don't know what exactly I was thinking, other than feeling I have the momentum. But to his credit, he'll have a decent little push out of this. Let's see if they lose a single villager out of this, or I lose a single villager out of this entire video. Yeah, this is the value of Loom. Could withstand 13 elite skirmishers and be okay. Now that was a loss, but it's not a big deal. We got 10 chonkers. That's over, yeah, like 2,000 HP. So anyways, we're just gonna rack up some kills, call it a day, don't worry about it. And he just doesn't have anything, right, to counter this, do anything special with it. And as such, that's game. So, I think he had the right ideas, but he somewhat should have figured 1 castle is enough for what you want to do, which is create a forward presence. But by him doubling it in a not that useful case, like maybe on this hill, very useful. But if you do a second castle and you're on the offense, you generally want to be at imp, or your castle eco is so good you can just try to end the game in castle. Which the Franks can always do that. They can just make 40 knights, and before you know it, like, that's it, right? So great as these are, that's not enough to stop 40 knights. Now, full of archers? Yeah, maybe, you know, when you add up everything, but this was a suitable force composition. I would have liked to have more of these guys, but this was also my first time playing Vietnamese in open battle. Probably a year and a half, or a year to be honest. So things are going pretty good. I have no idea how many, yes, 9 idle villagers.
Bái kiến điện
It's
hạ.
not bad.
Dạ bẩm, có dân nữ xin chờ lệnh.
Just hold on.
Bái kiến điện hạ. Dạ bẩm, có thảo
Điện
dân.
hạ có gì sai bảo? Bái kiến điện hạ. Điện hạ có gì sai bảo? Xin chờ lệnh. Dân nữ xin chờ lệnh.
Thảo dân xin chờ lệnh.
Có tiểu nhân, điện hạ có gì sai bảo?
Dạ bẩm, có dân nữ.
Okay, so if you tell them to do something, they have this funny thing where they say, Young Fu. So that's kind of going to be the title of this. Not spoiler because it's already over, but also, he went all in for something that he didn't finish the job on. So, Dr. Loving, we'll go and look over the stats. I pretty much had a 2-to-1 KD ratio, which is fantastic. I had plenty more truck. I was building more rattan archers, which is always nice. And that was going to be the plan. So, Dr. Loving, I played Senior. And let's go ahead and look at the stats real quick. So military, very solid. Just won across the board. He got society. I don't know why, because I had more castles than him. But I beat him in pretty much every metric. Well, the trash metrics. I can't really beat him in anything else. Did not get a relic because it was pretty close game, pretty tight. But very fun, very good. And I just want to see what our villager count was at the end. So, pretty close to our villager highs. But until next time, peace.